Hi everyone, welcome to my channel, Math Made Easy with Terry in 10 minutes. So we're going to talk about how to find unknown sides and angles of non-right angle triangles, okay? Before I proceed, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And if you've not clicked on the notification bell, I don't know what you're waiting for. So do click it so that anytime I post new videos, you'll be the first person to know. Now, usually to solve a triangle is basically to find the length of each of the sides and all of its angles. And also to find an unknown side or angle, we usually use either the sine rule or the cosine rule or both of them together. All right. So, but in this video, I'm going to just give an overview of what I'm going to do. The next video, I'm going to talk about the sine rule. The video after that, I'll talk about the cosine rule, and I'll take it up from there. Is that okay? So please make sure you review the previous video, because I'll be assuming you've watched my previous video on how to find the size or the angles and the rest of it and the concept. So we're going to just go straight and apply the sine rule and the cosine rule here. Because I'm aware that some students do take notes from my videos, so I'm going to write this down so that you have what to write on your notebook. So what I just said was that to solve a triangle, okay, to solve a triangle, basically is to find the length of each side and all of its angle. Okay, so basically it's to find the length of each side and all of the angles there. All right. So, and also to find those unknown sides and angle in a non-right angle triangle, you need to apply two rules, either the sine or the cosine, or both of them together. All right. So now the next thing is that to find unknown sides and angles in non-right angle. Okay. So we can use one or both of the two rules. Okay. So we could use either the sine rule. So some questions, you might just use only the sine rule to solve, okay? Now in some questions, you might use just the cosine rule to solve, or in some questions, you might use both of them, okay? So you can either use one or both. So in some cases, you might end up using both the sine rule. So you can start off with the sine rule and you end with the cosine rule, or you can start with the cosine rule and you end with the sine rule. So it's going to be something like this, but it's going to be a little bit different. So you'll be noticing as we keep on going around that we're going to be using different rules to solve for this, okay? Now let's get cracking now. What am I going to talk about in this video series? So I'm going to first start, like I told you, I'm going to talk about the sine rule, okay? So I'll talk about the sine rule. And when do you use the sine rule? We use the sine rule when you have two angles and the side is known. So when you have two angles and the side is known, then you can use the sine rule. So basically, you can use it when it's something like this. So remember, you may have it as angle A and side A, okay? And you can now have maybe angle B. Here you can use sine rule, or you can have something like this. You can have angle B, side B, and maybe you have angle C. You can also use sine rule, or maybe you have the same thing. So it does not really matter how it comes in, but the key thing here is that you have what? The sides, one side and two angles are known, okay? So you have two angles. So let's say you have angle C and side C, and maybe something like B, okay? Something like this. You can also use sine rule. So you have two angles and what? One side, okay? You have two angle and one side. So basically, usually say the side is the side that is directly opposite to a known angle. Okay, I'm going to talk about that. So that means you can see that we have this angle C and we have the side C. Does that make sense? We have this angle A and we have side A. That's what I'm trying to say. Or we have angle B. Okay, and we have side. So you can also use this or you can derive it. Now, the next thing as well is that you can use it when you have two sides. Okay, you have two sides and non-included angle. So in this case now, we have it as two sides and non-included angle, all right? So that means you could have something that looks like this, a triangle. You have this, maybe you have two sides. So we have something like this, side A, side B. So you have this side here, A. Are you seeing it? So you're having two sides, but the angle is not what's included. So we're having two sides, but the angle is not what's included. You could have another two sides, okay? Let me clean that, make it better. So you could have another two sides. So let's say you're having A and C, all right? But you're having any angle here. Let's say you're having angle C. So you see it is not an included angle. So what we mean included angle, we're talking about the angle between these two sides. So an included angle could have been something here, okay? This could have been an included angle, but you don't have any included angle. You can have any other part except there. Or you could also have the same thing. You could also have the same thing, but not an included angle. So you could have like this. You have A and B, but you have this angle here, B. So you're having two sides and non-included angle, the same thing. You can have something like this. Okay, you have A and C, but you now have this part A. So you can use the sine rule for this, all right? Don't worry, I'm going to solve questions for this. So you can use sine rule for two angles on the side or two sides and a non-included angle. All right, now the next one we're going to talk about in this series is the cosine rule, okay? So the cosine rule, when do you use a cosine rule? The first thing that you need to know, you can use a cosine rule when the three sides are known. Okay, so when you have three sides unknown, so for instance, you have a triangle, okay, side A, B, and C are known, then definitely you can use a what? A cosine rule for that. Another thing as well is that in cosine rule, you can use it when you have two sides and included angle. So two sides and included what? Angle. So you can use it when you have two sides and included angle. So you have something like this. Okay, so you have two sides, side A and side C, for instance. The included angle is here, B. Are you seeing it? Now you see it's different from sine rule. Sine rule, you don't have an included angle, but when you have an included angle, you use a cosine rule for that. So for instance, you could have sine A and B, and the included angle here is what? C, all right? Or you can have a triangle like this, and you have maybe side C and side B, okay? And the included angle here is A. So in this kind of cases, then you can use the cosine rule to solve that. All right. So that is a quick summary of the rules we're going to talk about. So in the next video, I'm going to talk about the sine rule, okay, how to use the sine rule, and I'm going to solve questions about the sine rule. So basically, we use the sine rule for two angles and a side is known, or two sides and a non-included angle. Then, well, for cosine rule, which will be the video after that, you can use this when you have three sides unknown or two sides and an included angle. All right. And that is that for that. Any question? If you have any question, please do send me an email, okay? Or you can drop it in the comment section, and I'm going to get back to you as soon as I can. All right, so I'm going to go to the next video, which is sine rule. So it's very important to subscribe and click notification bell so that when I post the next video on sine rule, you'll be the first person to know. So I'll see you soon.